Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. We are on review 140. That means it is CanCon time, Canadian content time. That's right. And we are looking at the Crash Test Dummies. God Shuffled His Feet. Basically, if you've ever heard of the Crash Test Dummies, this is the album that you owned. uh, I don't know any other albums specifically from the Crash Test Dummies. I have not taken the time to look over the inner workings of this, so we're going to open this up and look at it all together at the same time. That's all the band members there. Going for an old minstrel kind of look. We got Brad Roberts, lead vocals, acoustic electric guitars, piano on the song Untitled, sorry. Ellen Reed, backup vocals, piano, keyboards, and accordion. Benjamin Darville, mandolin and harmonicas. Dan Roberts, bass guitar, synth bass. I don't know if that's supposed to be Michael or Mitchell. Dorsch on drums and percussion. Let's get into this. First off, by the instruments I just read, you already know that this is definitely not a hard rock album. I dare to call this a rock album at all. I want to call this coffee house music. I want to call this gospel music. I want to call this music from a different time in a different place. Brought into the current time and place. And something, it's definitely something really cool to listen to. I'll be honest, really, I mean, my mom should probably give this album a listen to. I think my mom would actually enjoy this album. Myself, I don't mind it on a playthrough. I really do enjoy it on a playthrough because I enjoy things like Krista Berg. Now, this is not in the same vein as Krista Berg, but out of everything I've reviewed so far, Krista Berg might be the closest. I will say that in the context of the music that this is, you can definitely tell one song from the next. And each song is definitely its own intricate song, okay? So I'm not going to go downgrade it that way. But for someone like myself, this is where the big variance from my comparing it to Krista Berg would come in is Krista Berg, there is a lot of variation from song to song to song and story to story to story. This one, it really has a self-repetitiveness kind of syndrome to it. By the end of the album, I'm not really listening so much anymore. It's gotten to the point where it's like, okay, that's it, I'm tuning out. So the album's up with God Shuffled His Feet. And music, okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, musically the whole way around, it's soft, it's melodic, not high pace. It's got enough of a tempo to keep you awake. It's slow enough where it's easily enjoyable by all, which is part of the reason why I think this album itself was honestly popular. Like, most people I knew had a copy of this. I mean, that's also being Canadian, you know. I should also mention this album was released in the 90s. 93. This album was released in 93. This album is actually not my album. This album, Tracy picked this up. This came out of Tracy's collection. Not an album I would listen to. Tracy picked it up because she saw it and went, okay. She does have a lot of albums. So God Shuffled His Feet kicks off the album, and this is a very lyric heavy album, and I pay attention to the lyrics while the song is going. You know, I'm really listening, but I'm not absorbing. And the reason I'm not absorbing is lyrically, it's a lot of it's very uplifting, very warm, but very religious, and not bad religious, not preachy, but definitely, like I could see this band being a church house band at one time. That's honestly the vibe I get from like songs like God Shuffled His Feet, and I like the message behind it. I like the storytelling in it, and I'm gonna go with that. Afternoon and Coffee Spoons. There's a couple lines in it that when I hear them, I kind of perk up and go, okay, that's kind of cool. But it's not a song that's really grabbing me. All right, then we get into what was probably their most famous song, Mm-mm-mm-mm. I think it's a song that broke them in the U.S. and the main reason it broke them in the U.S. is Weird Al did a parody of it, and I think people heard the Weird Al parody and then went and asked to see the original, and that's how the original broke in the U.S. Um, Mm-mm-mm-mm is once again, it's a great story, and I like the whole once this was, and he's talking about all these things that happen through these people and stuff like that, and it's cute little storytelling, and it's these beautiful little stories in their own way. Um, and it's kind of like that's just how life is. That's just how it is. I kind of like the idea behind it. It's just how it is. That's just how it went. I don't have a good reason for it. It's just how it went. And it keeps kind of the mystery, the illusion, the once again, religious kind of vibe going on there. The Day of the Caveman. I know I enjoy The Day of the Caveman when I'm listening to it musically. I have no clue lyrically what I'm listening to, honestly. I know the words go through. I know I'm listening to them. I couldn't tell you what the hell I'm hearing. Swimming in Your Ocean. Uh, if this is the one that I'm thinking that it is, because honestly, I kind of blank on some of this. Swimming in Your Ocean is the one I think it is. It is honestly the worst song of sexual metaphor I've ever listened to. It really just is god awful. No Bible thumper should do any type of sexual metaphor, okay? Just no. If it's the one I'm thinking of, God, I hope it is. Here I Stand Before Me, I couldn't tell you. I think I'll Disappear Now. I really dig this one. This is one of the songs that to me I think stands out quite a bit. And if I were putting together a mixtape, for lack of better description, it would definitely go on certain ones because it has the right place and the right flow of music, any music really. And there's just something about it. It's mellow, but it's the right kind of mellow. I dig it. How does a duck know? It's no, I'm not big on that one. When I Go Out with Artists, I dig that one. I get in that one. I like the message behind that one. I like the narrative behind it. I like talking about, the idea of going out and what to expect and stuff like that, and altering opinions, altering point of views, stuff like that. The Psychic, Two Knights and a Maiden, Untitled. Musically, they're all fine songs. Once again, when the songs are going, I enjoy listening to them. I enjoy the story that's being told when I'm listening to it. Not to say that I don't remember any of it, but I don't remember any of it until I listen to it again. I've honestly, I've listened to this album every day for at least a week. I listened to it this morning on my way to work. I get home from work and really there's not enough on this album that's memorable to me anymore. Not enough to talk about properly and in depth because of the lyrical content that's in here. But that's how little this album really kind of grows on me, or how little this album really means to me. It's not a bad album, but I mean, out of other albums that I've picked out of Tracy's catalog to review, this is probably I would listen to this before I'd ever listen to that Ben Queller album again. All right, but I don't know if I'd listen to it before I listened to the Ozma Double Donkey disc again. And I use those two albums because they're the two closest. The Ben Queller is definitely the closest to this, and even that's still not right. To go with this. This is definitely something different. I can't say that if you're a country fan, listen to it. I can't say if you're a gospel fan, you'd like it. There's certain elements. There is. I remember my Uncle Greg picked up this album. I remember him talking to me because he asked me if I wanted this album when he was getting rid of it, because he had picked it up because he had liked the song when he had heard it. And then when he realized that that's basically how the whole album sounded, he wasn't that interested anymore. He offered it to me, and I told him no thanks, I wasn't interested in it. Because I wasn't, because the only song I had heard two songs from them at that point when I was offered the album. It was a song and Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, which isn't even on here. That was from the original Dumb and Dumber soundtrack. I'm done with Crash Test Dummies. If Tracy was interested, if she said she'd like more, I'd pick her up more, and then listen to it because I picked her up more. But that's it for me. Not something I ever really feel a need to venture into anymore. So those are my views. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section's for. Don't forget, I have a like button, a subscribe button, and a share button. Outside of that, peace, love, take care.